You just put it on its side. They put some reference, the insulation, without any fastener.
It
you just
fits right into place.
In the place.
And there you go, one person. Usually it takes two people, one on each side to do it.
And that's all. Yeah. We have assembled the car.
After watching this video, you will be as happy as this guy.
Yes.
Every Tesla stock investor needs to see this whole assembly video, which only takes minutes. There's so much innovation here, which highlights just how fast Tesla has innovated.
Here we are in front of the Tesla Model Y. This is the Austin version. You can notice the gigacasting here. So it's only one big piece of gigacasting. It's a U-shaped, so the operator can go inside, start assembling the vehicle from the inside and go toward the exterior. Here we have already one nice part. So it's the coal, but it's also the water box. So there is two parts in one. So they eliminated complexity. You have the cooling beam. So the cooling beam is a beam with all the elements, components for the cooling system, except the radiator. So you have the accumulator, condenser, compressor, octavalve here. So this is a complete cooling system. This beam is common on the different models. They use exactly the same beam with a small modification from one version to another. And every modification that you do, for example, on the accumulator will be automatically transmitted to the rest of the models.
Let's say your team is working on improving the Model 3 and they made a change to that one particular part, and now your Model 3 is better, but also your Model Y, your Model S and X will also be better. This makes innovation sort of effortless because you don't need to make this new change and then think of, okay, we have finished with the Model 3, let's now move on to the Model Y and then the Model S and X. Too much work. No, you just make one change for one vehicle and all of the other vehicles also benefit. This is one reason, for example, why having a few models is very beneficial, because you can design them in a way where they can share so many different parts. And then the whole company benefits from the economies of scale.
All the bolts go in from the top down.
All the bolts here in this area from the top down are vertical, so it's easy for the operator to put the bolts.
And do you think that this could be done by robots in the future?
Maybe, yes.
No, not maybe. Definitely, yes.
AC connections, so you cannot reverse the part, so it's always in the correct position. And for 5 pipes, you only have 2 fasteners. Even if it's the first day of job, they cannot mix it up.
I actually have a few years of experience in manufacturing. And one of the things that I learned is that when designing a manufacturing system, when designing every single step of the manufacturing process, you have to design absolutely 100% with this thought in mind that one day an idiot will follow your steps, because one day it will happen. So for example, if you have to give someone thorough instructions so that that person does not get hurt, the entire system, you have to throw it out. It's too difficult, too complex. You need to simplify it. You need to design it in a way where no one would get hurt, even if they really tried. Or if they were in a hurry and they tried to do as little work as possible. You want to do it in a way where it's impossible for them to screw it up. For example, like these 2 connections, you can't finish the job unless you do it correctly. Brilliant.
The filter is 2 parts, but again, you no need fastener to put these 2 parts.
They just snap together.
You just snap together.
One day some Tesla engineer will say, well, why can't we turn these 2 parts into one part? And then another engineer will say, well, actually we can't, because this already used to be this many parts and we got it down to 2 parts, and yeah, maybe we can make it one part actually. Although, of course, there are situations where sometimes having more parts is better than having less parts. For example, if a certain part breaks down a lot, or if it often needs to be repaired, you want to make it a separate part, because then it makes it much easier to be repaired. Imagine if the whole vehicle was just one part, but then you got a flat tire and you have to throw out the whole vehicle because it's one part. It's an extreme hypothetical example, but you get my point.
The front frame, you just put it on its side.
So once you get it into
from
the
module,
slots,
yes.
they just stay there.
Yes, exactly.
This whole process of building this car looks pretty fun to me. It's like assembling Legos.
It's a nice thing to give to the customer extra space for storage.
In the meantime, this is how Mercedes treats their customers. Here's BMW for you. Here's Porsche though. I don't know why this image would come up when I search on Google Porsche Frank. Here's their actual Frank. Even the BYD Seal, which is a direct competitor to Model 3, has a tiny Frank. It just goes to show how much more effective Tesla is.
Now the rear.
The rear. Exactly. You have a gigacasting in the back, U-shaped gigacasting. So again, the operator can start from the inside, going out. They put some reference, so you can, in fact, install the insulation without any fastener.
It
just
fits right into place.
In the place. The same for this part. So you just snap in.
Snap
That's
in.
all. Yes.
No fasteners.
No fastener.
Shaped
Yes.
wires so they fit right into the rear end.
Exactly.
There's no loose wires. It just
No.
goes exactly
Yes.
where it's supposed to go.
This part, just to close,
It snap fit.
snap fit container here. So you just put inside. The shape take care that is aligned, and you put the 4 fastener, and that's all.
And again, the bolts come in from the top, very easy
Yes,
to do.
exactly. And the same for the insulation. Crash beam.
So instead of 3 bolts or 4 bolts,
4 bolts,
they're using
you have
3.
3. Yes.
But they poka-yoka'd it so it only
Yes.
goes in the right way.
I cannot reverse it.
No.
Okay, will not fit.
This is where I learned a lot about manufacturing. I spent a lot of time in this building, and especially in this building, and there's also an area right here where I spent a lot of time, and there's also a tiny building here that you can access from here. And we used to store a lot of raw materials over here, and then some things we also used to store in this little building here. But then we would have to transport them using a forklift usually, all the way here. And then we asked ourselves this question, well, we don't really use this building anymore because we just got so much more effective that we didn't need that much space. So everything was in this building. And then we're spending so much time with a forklift just transporting everything into here. Why don't we just let a semi truck come in here with all the raw materials? Let's put everything in here. That saved us so much time and energy and money. The best process is no process. So that was amazing. And then we would use either a forklift or a tractor to transport some of the materials from this building into here, which was so much better. That was a huge improvement over this disaster. But still, that was actually pretty difficult, especially when it would rain, and all of this is actually a dirt road, or at least it used to be a dirt road back then. And sometimes the forklift would get stuck or almost stuck. It would just be difficult. You have to watch exactly how much stuff you carry. Very difficult, very annoying. So then we had this idea. Would it be possible to put the raw materials right in front of where we are actually turning these raw materials into a product? So we actually moved part of the manufacturing line into this building, and it actually worked. There's actually a lot more to the story. I oversimplified it. If you guys like hearing details like this, let me know, and maybe I'll share more sometime later.
These are the only horizontal bolts that we can find in the back. So we have the rear fascia. It's very light. You have only one connection here, and if you want, I can also put it on.
And there you go, one person. Usually it takes 2 people, one on each side to do it.
And that's all. We have assembled the car.
This guy knows exactly what's up. I mean, that smile speaks for itself, doesn't it?
The tail lights, again, you just feed it. You have 2 fasteners in the back here to keep the tail lights. But most importantly, here, the tail lights is coupled is coupled with the tail light, the door for the charging
charge
port.
point. But you were saying too that this little door
Yes.
is black because it blends right in with the tail light.
Yes,
so it does not
exactly.
have to be body color. Everyone can use
Yes,
the same
exactly.
black.
So
Very good.
only one part, so complexity reduction again.
In the meantime, here's a charging port from Volkswagen. Pay attention to that charging door color. It is blue, which matches the whole body. And how many colors are there for a Volkswagen EV? Well, many. So how many different colors will this little door have to have as well? Many, instead of just one. So let's say one day it breaks down. You need to replace it. Well, it better matches the color. It's a tiny little detail, but there are hundreds of little details like that that make Tesla's manufacturing process cheaper and faster. And doing this made me require 15 to 60 minutes less sleep per day, plus 4 other hacks are in this video, which is exclusively available on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you will get access to how much I think it is fair to pay per Tesla share each year between 2023 and 2033. If you sign up for the investor tier of support, you will also get my valuation model of Tesla stock with a 45-minute video walkthrough. YouTube says you should watch this video next or watch this discussion about the future with Elon Musk. My name is Matt Postius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.